Hello, I'm Dr. Vanita Rattan. I'm a doctor, but I'm also a cosmetic formulator specifically for skin of colour. So today's video is a brand new video for January 2022, and it's my top 7 serums available on Sephora. So I did need to go through about 100 serums on Sephora to find these ones. And I have a specific criteria for skin of colour. For skin of colour, our melanocytes are larger than Caucasian skin, so they are easier to trigger. As I always say, one scratch, one bite or one burn and we hyperpigment. This does not happen to Caucasian skin. This means we have to be a lot more careful with our skin. So I have certain things that I look for in serums that actually vast majority of people don't need to look at. But if you have skin of colour, these are things that you want to bear in mind. Number 1, is the product NAF safe? Meaning, has it got no denatured alcohol, which can dry the skin, no fragrance and no essential oils, because those can sensitize the skin. 3 to 4% of the population gets contact dermatitis from fragrance. And for skin of colour, contact dermatitis doesn't just mean redness and itchiness, it means hyperpigmentation that can last for years. And that's really my greatest concern. So I want us to be a lot more careful with the products that we put on our skin, because unfortunately over 90% of the products made weren't designed for skin of colour. So that's really why this whole channel exists. The second thing I want you to look for is, are the ingredients, the actives in the therapeutic index? Very, very minimal regulation when it comes to cosmetics and percentage actives, and then what you can put on the label. It means, I could put in 0.0001% retinol in a serum and call it a retinol serum. And, the percentage I'm using is so little it's not even going to work, but I can still put it on the label. And this is where, I think people tend to waste money on marketing. So if you educate yourself and empower yourself, then you're never going to fall into these traps. And the third thing I look at is I do a cost benefit analysis. So there's no point giving me a serum that's, an excellent serum but costs £500 because it's unaffordable. So the product has to be worth what is in it. So those are my 3 main criteria that I look for, and with those goggles on, I did a deep dive into Sephora's website, and these are my top 7. I hope you like them. Let's dive right in. By the way, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do, and hit the notification bell, because I'm in the comment section for 1 hour at the launch of every single video. So I'm here to answer your questions. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. I've got 2 accounts, Skincare by Dr. V and Dr. Vanita Rattan. I tend to ask you a lot of questions that I then bring into the YouTube videos. So it's good to be on that platform too. And I'm on TikTok as well, Dr. Vanita Rattan. So everything I'm about to recommend to you is non-sponsored. I've never accepted payment for recommending any product. In fact, on my Instagram account, I have the Dr. Vanita Rattan page has got all Dr. V approved products, and nothing has ever been sponsored and nothing will ever be sponsored. And I do that on purpose. It's important for you to know that everything is evidence-based information, and there's no other agendas. Right, so let's start off with the first one. This one was a new one to me. It's a new brand, which is rare because I pride myself on knowing what's on the market. Okay, so the first product is a new brand that I've not heard of before. It's called Pay Rosehip Bio-Regenerate. I think some of you have actually asked me to review this particular brand, and now that I've looked at the ingredients at this one, I definitely will do that for you. First ingredient in this product, and as you guys know, the first ingredient on the INCI list, the ingredients list, has a highest percentage because it's in descending percentage order. So the first ingredient here is Rosa canina seed extract, which is an emollient and a conditioner. It's an excellent ingredient, and often you find water as the first ingredient in a product. So when you find any other ingredient as the first ingredient in your ingredients list, it means the texture is going to be different. So if it's glycerin, for example, then it's going to be very hydrating. If it's petroleum or petrolatum, it's going to be a thick ointment. So the first ingredient really does indicate what the texture of the product is going to be. And I love this product, this ingredient. It's also got tocopherol acetate in it, your vitamin E. It's got squalene in it too, which is an emollient and helps to restore the skin, the fats in the skin. I love it also because it's fragrance free. It is a NAF safe product. And I would use this as an antioxidant and to repair the skin barrier. So I'd probably recommend using this one at nighttime, but this one I love and is at a good price point, and the ingredients are in therapeutic index. So I would definitely try this one. So the second serum that I love is the Inky List Alpha Arbutin. So Alpha Arbutin is a very powerful tyrosinase inhibitor. We've seen similar results with 4% hydroquinone on half the face compared to 4% alpha arbutin. So, but without the side effects. So I would definitely prefer alpha arbutin for skin of color. This particular serum is also NAFE safe. They're using 2% alpha arbutin, which means it's in therapeutic index. And I would highly recommend you use your SPF 50 during the day, because if you're trying to treat hyperpigmentation, 5 minutes in the sun is going to worsen your pigmentation. I do tend to recommend a mineral sunscreen. So this is the one that I use, a Dr. V Inzincable. I made it specifically for skin of color, for pigmentation, because I put MelaShield in it too. It's zinc oxide and NAFE safe, and it's $24.99 from the link below. So you don't have to use this. It's just the one that I made for skin of color if you have hyperpigmentation. So it's quite a niche product. But whichever SPF 50 you want to wear is fine, but it's very important that you do so. If you're looking for a full routine on how to treat your hyperpigmentation using The Ordinary, I've done a whole series for you. I've also done it using Paula's Choice. So I've done a series for you on pigmentation. So if pigmentation is one of your main concerns, do watch one of those videos. Okay, moving on to the next product was a surprising one for me, another one which I like, another treasure. This is Drunk Elephant D-Proteini. So I love actually the Drunk Elephant, a vast majority of their products. Some are not great for skin of color, and I've done a whole video for you just dedicated to Drunk Elephant, which ones to buy, which ones not to buy. But on the whole, they don't have fragrance in them. They don't have essential oils. They tend not to have denatured alcohol. So they do tend to have a lot of products that I like for skin of color. Now, this particular product is actually very good for holidays because it's tinted, which means that you don't need to wear makeup and you can cover your blemishes. Plus the ingredients in here, they've got antioxidants, peptides, and marula oil. So I'm happy for you to wear this during the day. It's rich in omega-2, which is great to restore the skin barrier. So what I would probably do is, if you really want to wear this, just make sure you wear your SPF 50 on top, and then top up your SPF 50 using a powder SPF during the day. So this is really for those days that you want to wear something tinted on the skin. Often, actually, you don't mind, being naked face like I do, just wear your SPF 50. But on those special days where you want a little bit of tint, this is a good product for you. Okay, so the next product was a new one for me as well. So I'm actually really enjoying today's video. So today, this one is Drunk Elephant Shaba Complex Eye Serum. I don't know why I haven't come across this before. I don't know whether it's a brand new serum, but I love that it's got black tea ferment in it. It basically reduces glycation. This means that there's less covalent bonds forming on the collagen with glucose. And this basically leads to wrinkles and decreased elasticity. So when you do this, it doesn't snap back as quickly. And so this is actually great to help reduce wrinkles. That's the most important thing around the eye area. It's also got peptides in it and antioxidants, which will also help with elasticity. And they use coenzyme Q10, which I do love. It's actually one of my favorite antioxidants. I actually put that in our antioxidant power serum. So I'll show you what the antioxidant power serum looks like. It's very thick and smooth, and it's like velvet, and it will melt into the skin. It's so beautiful. I can't wait for you to try this one. So now in their Shaba Eye Complex, they also put in niacinamide. So this is one that I would definitely purchase and definitely try and recommend. I would say, however, in terms of cost-benefit analysis, Drunk Elephant does tend to be on the more expensive side. So Proteini cream, for example, is going to cost £50, which is quite a lot. So it's important to be aware of that too. The fifth product is something I haven't discussed either before, and that's the Polyglutamic Acid. So this is actually great for dry skin or damaged skin barrier, or if you've got eczema. It's also got 3% amino acids in it, which is great for hydration. So it basically locks water into that top layer of skin. And polyglutamic acid is a very powerful humectant. So remember we talked about hyaluronic acid and glycerin, they're all excellent humectants, but this holds 4 times as much water as hyaluronic acid. So it is very powerful. However, the mistake that gets made with hyaluronic acid is that people forget to put moisturiser on top, or if they're in a dry desert-like environment, they're not using a humidifier. And so in the morning, actually, your skin feels drier than the night before, which is, you know, not what you're paying all this money for. So this is something that you really need to be aware of. If you apply this serum, you absolutely must apply a fatty moisturiser on top in order for the water molecules to come from the fatty moisturiser and lock into the skin. You do not want water from lower in the layers of skin coming to the surface and making the skin feel tight. So the 3 moisturisers I tend to recommend that are nail safe and fatty are Citra-Pen, CeraVe, and of course Cera-Pep Brightening Moisturiser, specifically for skin of colour. So whichever one you want to use is absolutely fine, but you must use a fatty moisturiser on top. Moving on to the next product, which is the Clinique Smart Clinical Repair. I usually am not a huge fan of Clinique. I've actually done a whole video on reviewing the products I could find, which was hard to find nail safe products. But this one is nail safe, so it's, you know, rare, and you know, I have to applaud them for that. It's got vitamin C in it, hyaluronic acid, squalene, so it's a very basic formula. I like it because it is antioxidants in an airless pump, and that is important. If you're going to use antioxidants, they should really be in combination and in an airless pump. However, when it comes to the cost benefit analysis, I probably would say it doesn't really stack up, because £100 basically for those 3 ingredients, vitamin C, hyaluronic acid and squalene, at least is nail safe. So, and last but not least is a fantastic product. So this one's called First Aid Beauty Facial Radiance Niacinamide Dark Spot Treatment. So as you all know, hyperpigmentation is my specialty, specifically for skin of colour, and I have very high standards when it comes to tyrosinase inhibitors, so the ingredients needed to treat hyperpigmentation in skin of colour. And this one I'm impressed with. So the second ingredient here is niacinamide. This basically stops pigment from going from the melanocyte to the surrounding skin cells. The 5th ingredient here is glycerin, so it's a hydrating product. The 6th ingredient is panthenol, which is an anti-inflammatory. And the 11th ingredient here is licorice root extract, which is another tyrosinase inhibitor. So I also like the price point of this product, so passes that test. And I would say when you've got pigmentation, start cheap. So either you start with the alpha Arbutin from The Ordinary or from the Inky List that we discussed today, or you go in with this one from First Aid Beauty. You try it for about 3 to 6 months. If you're seeing a reduction, great, you don't need to upgrade to anything else. But if after 3 to 6 months you're not seeing any change in your hyperpigmentation, it means that you need to upgrade. And so this is why I created the Facial Pigmentation Kit and the Dark Circles kit specifically for skin of colour. It's got 10 tyrosinase inhibitors in it, but this is not your first line treatment because it is expensive. It's about £110 for the dark circles and about £100 for the facial pigmentation kit. So this is not cheap. It's a kit, and you only use it if, you know, the over-the-counter cheaper products have failed. And the reason I made it is because there was nothing for us from cheap to professional grade. There was nothing in between. It was either a £10, £20 product or a £1,000 treatment. And so I wanted to try and give you as many actives as physically possible that you could use at home without having to go into the clinic. Okay, so I have created a brand new guide for you, free e-guide for 2022, and the link is down below. So please do download that. It's a new ebook. You might have downloaded the older one. If you want to learn more about skincare for skin of colour, I have published this book with HarperCollins called Skin Revolution. It's available from Barnes & Noble, from Amazon, all over the world, and this really is my love letter to our skin of colour family. I've put in so much information that it's just a reference book that I think our children really should be reading, but also it's a CPD approved book, which means that doctors can read it too and get CPD points. So I did really want to cover something that all of us can read. So my daughter, who's 8 years old, understands a lot of what's in this book, and I just think it's important to educate them from a young age on skincare. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.